Well, I'm very excited because in 1977, I was in this magnificent building dressed up in C-3PO conducting the London Symphony Orchestra of an evening with John Williams, and I conducted the Star Wars theme. And I was waving my arms about, they didn't really need me, but it was the greatest night of my life, and possibly seconded now by this evening. Well, 3PO very rarely leaves me because, besides being in all the movies, I do all of the cartoon series, things like Rebels and Clone Wars and all that, which, the fans really love because they're super produced by Dave Filoni. And, all sorts of things to do with C-3PO. So he stays with me and just occasionally we make a film. This, of course, is a third Star Wars premiere in 3 years. So, I'm kind of getting used to it. But this is an evening of royalty where protocol and etiquette are highly necessary. Oh, yes, because not in a Star Wars movie, they're not. But tonight, meeting the princes, who are Star Wars fans. His quiet intelligence on the set, I don't think he ever needed to raise his voice. He kind of speaks very humbly, very quietly. His brain, it just ticks over like a wonderful machine. His inventiveness, his reasoning, his explanation when I wanted to do something and I really wanted to do it. He said, well, it's a good idea, but it's not quite right for this moment because that. I shut up. I trust him utterly, trust his judgment. And when you see the film, I think you'll see why. It's beginning to be a culmination of all sorts of previous ideas or previous storylines, but woven in a very magical and inventive way, very, very clever. If I say it's a highly intelligent film, it's not like brainy. It just makes sense. And to do that, I think, takes a pretty big brain power, like Ryan's got, And there's all sorts of elements, as any Star Wars film should have. There's excitement, there's fear, there's battles, there's humor, but there's also one or two other things in this that I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to spoil anything. But you'll see what I mean when you see it. This film in particular does hark back more to Episode 4, really, and Episode 5. And on the set, the magnificence of the set pieces that the crew had built. It was breathtaking. I used to just stare and wonder that I was actually on a planet or in this vast space that was real. When you see it in the film, it looks real, but it was in the studio, it was real. I think it will harken back to the kind of reality that was in Episode 4. So you should wait. You wait till you see it, and then you'll remember some of these words. And the performances, I think they're superb. Well, every character has fans, and I think people are going to love the Porgs. I have met a Porg, and they are truly adorable. But I like C-3PO, is how I've kept going with it. And anybody who likes 3PO is a friend of mine, so that's very nice.